What up, guys? So I recently got a video sent to me from Mrs. Stevens over on Instagram. She's a longtime Chewjitsu video watcher and follower, so appreciate the question. Shout out to you. But basically, it was about this young guy, like 16 years old, named Jazarius Sheldon. I may be saying that wrong, but Jazarius Sheldon. He's working at a restaurant. He goes out to take the trash or whatever. He's going out there, and some guy mouths off to him, says something like, "What are you doing out here, suburb boy?" Right? Some guy who's a grown man, but he said he's about 6'2", and then the dude attacks him. Now initially he's trying to just get away from the situation, but then as soon as that happens, boom, he takes the guy down. Tries to get away from the situation, the guy gets back in his face, takes him down again, and eventually gets out of it. But during those takedowns and during some of the grappling, he gets bitten, right? He gets bitten on his back and his shoulder and everything else. But he was able to handle his business. So hats off to him for being able to handle his business during a fight situation using wrestling and jiu-jitsu. Again, I've talked about this before, but one of the coolest moments for me, being a high school wrestler, similar to him, is that I was getting bullied at school. And then one day, because we didn't think of wrestling as fighting back then. This is pre the sort of UFC, MMA explosion back then. I just thought of wrestling as a sport. And then one day I double leg a guy into the ground and into an old radiator. And all of a sudden, he doesn't want to fight anymore. I'm like, this is like a magic trick because they don't know how to defend it. And so hats off to him for handling his business using grappling. But I wanted to share this video with you guys. One, if you guys want to watch the video that they did for the article, you can check the description and the links down below. But I wanted to do this video because it's something I've seen happen before, and it's worth talking about. Because when we talk about jiu-jitsu, we talk about it both from the sport element and the fun element, but there is the self-defense fighting element to it. And one of the things that you have to keep in mind is that when it gets into a fight situation, there are no rules. And bites happen. I remember years ago when I first started, and within my first couple of years, several of the guys at my gym worked as bouncers, right? They worked as security. And I remember hearing about these situations, even seeing the aftermath. I remember one guy had him in an armbar, right? And again, this is a long time ago, different times. He's got the guy in an armbar and he's like holding him down, telling the guy to chill out. The guy starts biting on his calf and he's puncturing. It was like a puncture wound. They're drawing blood, the whole deal. So he starts, just jacking the guy's arm up, but he had to get on antibiotics afterwards. Another guy, I remember he got bit on the arm somewhere. He was trying to grab the guy and lock him up, and the dude just chomped on his bicep. And I've seen some of our police officers even have situations where the people bite, right? And I think it's worth talking about, again, just something to think about, something to chew on, right? We had a podcast with Chris Howder. It was a really entertaining podcast. So if you check out my Chewjitsu podcast, there's a really entertaining episode with Chris Howder on there. And he said it really well, and I think it's just worth repeating. Whether you do jiu-jitsu for fighting or if you're doing it for fun, which is you train sport, but you think street. Meaning you do all your sports stuff, you enjoy the aspect, the fun, the engagement of jiu-jitsu versus jiu-jitsu because that part is really fun and there's so many rabbit holes that you can go down in that realm, right? It's very entertaining, it's very fun, we love it. But in the back of your mind, you should always be thinking, if I was in this position, how would this work in a fight situation? Could the person bite? Could they hit me? Could they grab me? If you're a police officer, a lot of times police officers are worried about where their firearm is. Like, hey, if I'm holding this person in this side, can they get access to my firearm? Or if I'm grabbing their arm in this way, could they get access to one of the weapons on my tool belt? And then for us as just, regular people, it's the same thing. You want to be thinking about, like, what could this person do that is not within the bounds of the rules? And again, it doesn't take a rocket doctor to understand this. You can quickly look at it and say, okay, I need to be worried about this, this, and this. Even like thinking about a rear naked choke, right? If you're just sitting back there with your head wide open, opposed to your head tucked in, this person could be gouging your eyes. Same thing if you're applying a key lock to someone for control, they could be gouging your eyes and things like that. Obviously, we got bites from arm bars and things like that. So you have to be careful about that stuff because in a fight situation, anything goes. And you don't know what the person's sort of mindset is and what they'll do. And so just always kind of keep that in mind. No matter how sporty you are into this stuff, always keep in mind that there are elements to a fight situation and you just want to sort of observe them. It doesn't mean that you have to train. You don't have to go to the gym and have some guy trying to bite you, right? You don't have to do that. But you can understand, okay, their mouth is right here. They could bite me, or their hand is right here. They could grab me or gouge my eyes. Just thinking about those things. It's a useful exercise, and you don't have to do it every day. But when you're training periodically, just look at the situation. And again, train your sport, and then just think about, well, how would this, or would this work in a street situation? And just know in the back of your mind, oh, I wouldn't use this in a fight situation. No way. You know, I'm not going to play like inverted daily heel guard in a fight situation, get my face stomped on the curb. Likewise, even with things that are very fundamental, like a takedown. I mean, hey, it's good that he took the guy down because who knows what would have happened if this guy had punched him and hurt him and got him on the ground. So it's good that he got him on the ground and only had a bite mark to show for it. But nonetheless, it's just something to keep in your head because people do crazy stuff. And so hats off to the young man for handling his business and getting out of a bad situation with just a few bite marks to show for it. And for the rest of you guys, just an idea to chew on. So anyway, thank you guys for watching the video. I'll talk to you guys next time.